Hey, 420 MSP, it's coffee with Kat. Kat, good morning.
Good
How you
morning. How
doing?
are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Literally, it's coffee time. So listen, this month, appreciate you being one of our frequent contributors and analysts. And this month, we're going around the horn, and the topic is influencer marketing in the cannabis sector segment. So take it from the top. What do you know to be true?
Sure. So, with cannabis marketing, especially on social media, because of legalities, like for example, Facebook doesn't want you doing any advertising of cannabis brands on their social platforms, and you have to say stuff like nothing is for sale. One of the ways to get around that can be leveraging influencers to talk about your product. With cannabis brands, like for example, I know like MedMen, if you're
Yep,
familiar with that brand, has done
yep.
influencer marketing before, and I've personally seen that on platforms that influencers can use to be recruited by people. So I know for sure MedMen has done stuff. CBD companies, especially, are all the rage in influencer marketing. It's really anything hemp based or THC or CBD based is really just like absolutely booming in the influencer sphere right now.
Question for you. Just to make sure I understand. I'm unfortunately a little bit old school. I'm trying to become new school, but um, Snoop Dogg made a guest appearance. It must have been I'm going to say 3 years ago at Agate Dreams, a dispensary just across the bridge from Bainbridge Island on April 20th. And I know he's been active in the space. Would Snoop Dogg be an influencer? Is that what we're talking about? Is he might tweet something out and so on?
Sure. So there are a ton of different levels of influencers. So at the very base level, you have nano influencers, so people that have between 1,000 to 10,000 followers. You have micro influencers, which is usually the 10K to 100K mark, and then regular influencers, which are usually like 100K to 1 million, and then you get really into celebrity status once you get to 1 mil plus. So I would say Snoop Dogg, I don't know his exact follower count, but I
Probably a
can I can
celebrity.
personally say he's probably over 1 million followers. So he's
Yeah.
really a celebrity in that account, but definitely influencing by celebrities can be very, very effective, as seen by, like, for example, the Kardashians. You know, their entire livelihood is based on influencer marketing.
Yeah, and so let's stick with Snoop Dogg. So maybe he would, I mean, I get the guest appearance thing, but maybe he's fond of a particular brand or being paid by a brand. So if I'm tracking with you, he might put a post up on Instagram of a, a picture, that somehow relates to the brand and maybe say the brand name. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, so typically the best way for cannabis companies to go around influencer marketing is to usually have people shout out their brand, like for example, tagging their page on Instagram. Typically, with some forms of influencer marketing, you can include a call to action, for example, like a discount code or something like that, and that can be really good to figure out sales quantities. But especially if you're doing THC marketing, where the legality is a little rough, I would recommend not leveraging discount codes or calls to action to purchase, and mostly doing it from more of like a shout out standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does. And what I'm also maybe hearing is there's different standards depending on the social platform, right? Facebook sounds like it's a little more restrictive. Twitter is probably the Wild West, if I had to speculate. Does that sound about right?
Definitely, definitely. I would say Facebook and YouTube are the most difficult to crack. Instagram is certainly a great place, especially because cannabis is such a visual product for the most part, usually.
Yeah.
Um, so Instagram can be a great place for cannabis companies to leverage. Twitter, I am less well versed in the Twitter sphere, but I would assume that Twitter probably is a little more because there usually aren't like calls to action to purchases in Twitter, in tweets and stuff like that, and usually it's more like a shout out or like a conversation generator, I would guess that Twitter's a little bit more lenient on who can say what.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And finally, Kat, where can people follow you up on Instagram if you want to give yourself a shout out?
Sure. So my food blog is Kitty Cat Health. Kitty like the word cat, Kat, and health. And then I also offer marketing tips on a more recent page called Kitty Cat Consulting. So Kitty Cat Kat and then consulting. If you're interested in more marketing tips and stuff, especially on social media marketing, give me a follow there.
All righty. Well, we sure appreciate you taking time out of your busyness, and keep it safe, and we'll talk to you next month. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you so much.